So welcome to Center for Spiritual Living, Tahoe-Truckee. We are your speakers and musicians for today. This is Laura Berryhill. My name is Anton Mizerak, and we have an opening piece that Laura wrote.
There's a little bit of sing-along in this. Om Shanti 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 Om. You can keep playing, which means Om peace, peace, peace. We are looking for a way to find our home. We are looking for a way to find our home. When we heed our inner voice, we find that wisdom leaves no choice. The quiet truth is built from many stones. Its whisper leads us home. We are looking for a way to find our peace. We are looking for a way to find our peace. In the kindness we embrace, in forgiveness and release. The never-ending journey leads to peace. We will find our peace. And we sing Om
Shanti, 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 Om. Om Shanti, 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 Om.
We sing
Om Shanti, 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 Om. Om Shanti, 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 Om.
We are looking for a way to find our truth. We are looking for a way to find our truth. When the sky is in our souls, we find heaven in our roots. The mountain we must climb becomes our muse as we seek our truth. On the journey to perfection, can we see our inner light as the candle in the window, in the darkness of the night, where every star's a candle, in spirit's vast array, and the song within our hearts is there to help us on the way. We sing
Om Shanti, 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 Om. Om Shanti, 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 Om.
We sing
Om Shanti, 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 Om. Om Shanti, 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 Om.
its whisper leads us home.
Good morning. There we go. Welcome to the Center for Spiritual Living, Tahoe-Truckee, and our fabulous morning that we're going to have with Anton Mizerak and Laura Berryhill. So in our center, we know that there are many paths to God, and they all end in oneness and in love. And wherever you are on your spiritual journey, whatever your path is, we know that you are welcome here. You have found a place where you are home and loved and welcome. So we like to start by remembering that our vision is love. And our vision is embracing all and serving with love while awakening to the one. And we like to start our service with our receptivity statement that you can see here if you would read along with me. I am here by divine appointment. So I am about to hear applies to my life. I am open, receptive, and willing to explore the possibilities. All right. And so this morning, we have our musicians and guest speakers together. And there's amazing, we had a concert last night with Anton Mizerak and Laura Berryhill, and it was just amazing. If you weren't here, you really missed something. But here, but you're here today, which is perfect, and it's going to be recorded, so friends can watch it on Zoom as well. But I want to tell you a little bit about these two amazing souls. And Anton is Anton has studied the history of religions from the phenomenological approach when he was at UCLA. And this morning, several of these stories that he loves the stories that he's talking about this morning because they've been with him since he did his master's thesis, and he knows them inside and out, and so it's going to be an amazing part of the experience. Now, Laura Berryhill also holds an MA in music history from the University of Oregon, right? And she is, as you've already heard, is a wonderful musician in her own right. And the two of them have given hundreds of transformational healing music events throughout the western U.S. and their own performance venue at Mount Shasta. So they've come from the one spiritual vortex to Tahoe. So it's speaking to the other. And they've gained increasing recognition as speakers and presenters for their own version of inspiring musicality, entertaining storytelling, and personal insight. And the stories they have of all of the New Thought musicians and other musicians as well that they've worked with over the years, they've been entertaining Michael and I. So it's we've been to some of the same places, and Bob also knows a lot of the places. But anyway, this morning, their presentation is entitled Music and Mythology, Stories of Transformation. And these are stories that, as I said, that he has known for many years, but they're from around the world. So I'm going to let Anton and Laura take it from here.
Thank you, Pam. This is a beautiful little center, and we're happy to be here today. So, as Pam said, our presentation is Music and Mythology, Stories of Transformation. And we're going to look at three stories or myths from three different traditions today. One from Native American tradition that is more up in our end of the state, the far northern California and southern Oregon, and one from the Celtic lands, and one from Tibet. So we'll be traveling around the world today a little bit. So we're going to start with story number one. Coyote goes on a vision quest to Mount Shasta.
So this story was collected by Frank Gachet in 1882 around Klamath Falls, and it exists in manuscript form at the Klamath Falls Museum. So before the world was the way it is today, Coyote was walking down by the water when he saw a group of young girls bathing in the water. And Coyote, being Coyote, walked right up to the shore of the water and made a pass at the girls, who looked at each other, and one of them turned to Coyote and said, "Coyote, you're way too old for us. You'll have to find somebody your own age." Well, Coyote, being Coyote, was very disappointed at this result. And Coyote thought to himself, I should go to Mount Shasta on a vision quest so that I can become young again. Well, Coyote had no idea how to do a vision quest, but his friend Jow Jow, Flying Squirrel, did know how to do the vision quest. So Coyote went up to Jiao Jiao and said, Jiao Jiao, I resolve that I'm going to do a vision quest to go to Mount Shasta. And I need your help. Jiao Jiao looked at Coyote and said, Coyote, whatever in the world would you want to do a vision quest for? Vision quests are for young creatures to find their direction in life. You've lived a very full life. You have no need of this. And Coyote turned to Jiao Jiao and in a fit of inspiration said, no creature is ever too old to find a direction in their lives. I put this off for too long. It's time that I do it now. Jiao Jiao looked at Coyote and said, Coyote, I don't believe a word you're telling me, but I've been your friend forever, so I'll help you anyway. So, Coyote, you have to gather up sweat lodge blankets and carry them to Mount Shasta. And when you get to Whitney Creek, you have to stop and cut some sweat lodge willows, peel off the bark, wrap them in the blankets, follow the creek up to the waterfall, and at the top of the waterfall, gather firewood, wrap it in the blankets, and then take it up to the saddle between the two peaks, Shasta and Shastina. Build your sweat lodge and pray to Gamokamsh, the creator spirit, who's created all the universe and the earth and the heavens, and pray that he will adopt you as his son. And Coyote, I'll teach you a song to sing to Gamokamsh, but it's absolutely imperative that nobody hear this song. If you can, let nobody see you walking to Mount Shasta, but especially don't tell anybody what you're doing. So, Coyote gets his sweat lodge blankets and starts walking toward Mount Shasta, singing his song to the Gamokamsh to adopt him as his son. And pretty soon some people are walking on the trail the opposite direction from Mount Shasta. They round a bend in the trail. They see Coyote walking with all these blankets. And they stop and say, oh, Coyote, whatever are you doing carrying all these blankets walking toward Mount Shasta? And Coyote answers, I'm going on a vision quest to Mount Shasta so that I can become young again. And the people look at each other and then they look at Coyote and they say, well, Coyote, we wish you well. So Coyote continues walking toward Mount Shasta. And pretty soon some more people are walking in the trail the opposite direction from Mount Shasta. Before they see him, they hear this canine howling in the distance. And then they round the corner and they see Coyote. And they say, oh, Coyote, whatever are you doing carrying all these blankets walking toward Mount Shasta? And Coyote answers them saying, I'm going to Mount Shasta on a vision quest so that I can become young again. And the people look at each other and they look at Coyote and they say, well, Coyote, we wish you well. But pretty soon, the immensity of what Coyote's doing begins to overtake him. And the next time people are walking on the trail, Coyote hides in the manzanita so that people won't hear him, and he prays real quietly. And the rest of the time he avoids contact with all people and all creatures. And he gets to Whitney Creek and he cuts his sweat lodge willows and he strips off the bark, wraps it in the blankets, follows the creek up to the waterfall. At the top of the waterfall, he gathers his firewood and wraps it in the blankets, hikes up to the saddle between Shasta and Shastina, builds his sweat lodge fire, puts the rocks on top of the fire. With a couple of sticks, he puts the red hot rocks inside the lodge he's built, gets some water from Sisson Lake, makes steam and prays deep into the night to Gamokamsh, the great creator spirit, to adopt him as his son. And then Coyote falls asleep. And he dreams that Gamokamsh comes into his lodge. And Gamokamsh says, Coyote, I know your intentions have not been pure, but you've done the ceremony, you've sung the song, you've built the lodge. So I will honor your request and adopt you as my son. But I will also honor your hidden request and make you young again. But more important than that, I promise you that as long as there are two-leggeds and four-leggeds walking on this earth, there will always be Coyote.
Wow, what a story.
Oh, wait, we have to sing the song first.
Oh, okay.
Yes. So this is music in mythology, stories of transformation. So there's a song that goes with each story. This story was actually a Modoc story. And the Modocs lost the war. And so they lost their tradition. So we're going to sing downriver, down the Klamath River from the Modocs. You've got the Klamath, and then the next tribe down is the Karuk. So we will sing you the Karuk Coyote song. It's at least 600 years old. And we'll sing it, and the mics will pick it up. For Zoom, we're going to walk around the room and sing it. Okay, the mics won't pick it up. We're not going to walk around the room. We'll just sing it from the front of the room. So this is the Karuk Coyote chant. Hey, 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 yo.
Hey, 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 yo. Hey, 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 yo.
Honey, named Noah. Honey, named Noah. Honey, named Noah. Honey, named Noah. Hey, 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 yo. Hey, 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 yo. Hey, 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 yo. Hey, 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 yo. Honey, named Noah. Honey, named Noah. Honey, named Noah. Honey, named Noah. Hey, 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 yo. Hey, 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 yo. Hey, 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 yo. Hey, 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 yo. Honey, named Noah. Honey, named Noah. Honey, named Noah. Honey, named Noah. Hey, 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 yo. Hey, 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 yo. Hey, 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 yo. Hey, 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 yo. Honey, named Noah. Honey, named Noah. Honey, named Noah. Honey, named Noah. Hey, 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 yo.
Yotoa Paihi, Yotoa Paihi.
We have a lot of little doodads up here to pick up, put down. So Coyote, what an interesting character. I would venture to say that he's a little like all of us. You know, sometimes maybe we pray for things that are seemingly frivolous, like I just want to be young again and go get the girls or whatever. I don't think Coyote was really successful in that last part, but he did get to be young again. But interestingly enough, like I would call Coyote an accidental tourist of transformation, because this is music and mythology, stories of transformation. And Coyote makes a huge transformation. And I think his story can give us hope that we can all make that kind of transformation. Because as kind of bumbling as he is, as wrong-headed as he is in his desire to go on a vision quest and make this change, he still succeeds. So here's the magic, here's how it works. Coyote is going along and he's showing off his song to the people, and he's got his blankets, and he's not really trying to hide at first. And as he gets closer and closer to his goal, which is to carry out the vision quest, the sweat lodge up on the mountain, something starts to work on him. He quiets down. He starts to take charge of his experience a little bit. And then just when you think he's got it all under control, he's built his sweat lodge and he's carrying out his vigil by the fire, he falls asleep on the job. It's a cute part of the story, and it's easy to overlook that, but Coyote, that's a big mess up. He falls asleep when he's supposed to be praying all night to the Creator. So he kind of flubs his connection there. But this is the real magic. There's something in Coyote that is a true seed. He is a little sprout just waiting to grow. He is part of the creation. And that little piece in Coyote, Gamokamsh, the Great Spirit, is able to reach out to Coyote and connect with that in him. And that's what we all have that. We can all transform by just nurturing that part of ourselves and doing the best we can. Excuse me, because Coyote was, despite his bumbling ways, doing the best he could. And so when he went into that sweat lodge and he fulfilled it, he fulfilled the mission as best he could. So when Gamokamsh reached out to him in his dreams, because there's always a way for Spirit to reach us, whether it's through our dreams or for things going on in our lives. So Coyote shows us this. And Gamokamsh not only adopts Coyote as his son, which is, the kind of serious spiritual outcome, but he gives him his silly wish of becoming young again. And then the best part, he ensures that there will always be Coyote. So he says, you are part of my creation. He gives Coyote this message that you are part of me and I am part of you, and we won't be separated. So if you're ever kind of bumbling along and wondering, how can I do this, whatever, that connection is where it's at, whether it comes through your dreams, through whatever actions you're taking. So that's what Coyote shows us on his journey to transformation. So as not to run out of time, because we have 3 journeys of transformation to undertake here, we're going to go next to a Celtic mythology about a mermaid. Now this is a little song, and it actually, the version that we're doing has 3 verses, and these verses beautifully line up with kind of a miniature hero's journey, and you've probably all heard of the hero's journey that was made famous by Joseph Campbell. The mermaid starts out, and the reason I'm going to explain this to you is the song is in Scottish Gaelic, and so you may not be able to follow directly, but the feel of it can come through to you. So the mermaid starts out, we think we can kind of presume that she's been on land, living her life with loved ones on land, and that she has been cast out from that life. Because she says in the first verse that her heart is broken. My heart is broken even though I'm only a mermaid. It's almost like she's saying, I can't even believe I have the right to have a heart that gets broken in the first place. Like, she's so bereft. She's cast out. And in verse 2, she finds herself swimming around and around, and she says, I never know on any night on which island I'll rest my head. So she's really kind of swimming around and searching, but not knowing what she'll find and not knowing if she's found it. And then finally in verse 3, she takes a deep dive. She goes under the sea, and there she finds gold and silver beyond the riches she has ever seen in any palace of any king. So that gold and silver obviously is going to be metaphorical for something greater that she's found. So I'd like to sing this song to you and then just talk about it a little bit more. So the choruses for this song are what's called vocables. So they are words that don't have a direct meaning, that just kind of draw us into the melody more. So this is the chorus. Huva is Norden Huva, Huva is Norden Hi, Huva is Norden Huva, Samle for of Yahumi. So it just kind of ebbs and flows like the waves. Now we'll do verse 1. Amachel van sturrikan furchtjes van ich vato hier, vamo hoogstunden fallen, get is my John varami. My heart is broken even though I'm only a mermaid. Huva is Norden Huva, Huva is Norden here, Huva is Norden Huva, Samle for of Yahumi. Chaniel mochata Sachunya, nur vies bures evenchich, vam in rövan kore vrekan, bini nochtan elani. I never know on which island I'll rest my head. Huva is Norden Huva, Huva is Norden here, Huva is Norden Huva, Samle for of Yahumi. Shall is feiken grut na farke, whoever nader geht sorgen jir, lang yerachana kasule, aunan kusht nyo So I forgot to signal you for verse 3, where she takes that deep dive under the water. But the mermaid is such an interesting character because in this simple little song, where she's kind of on this mini hero's journey, it seems so kind of simple. But the mermaid, if we kind of pick this apart a little bit, the mermaid in the first verse, she's been cast out from probably her land people, her loved ones. And in that verse, in order to interact with those loved ones on land, she had to be on the surface. So she's on the surface, living her life, and then is cast out. Where does she go? She goes into the water. She's half human, half sea creature. So she goes into the water, and she's swimming around and around looking for answers, basically. She doesn't know where she'll end up. And she then finally, so where is she in herself at that point? She's in that kind of intermediate place between her human self and her sea self. Then she goes in verse 3, takes that deep dive under the water, which is her natural home, and she finds these amazing riches, which in the song are silver and gold, but better than in the palace of any king. So something that exceeds all kind of common understanding of what riches are, something that exceeds human riches, certainly. And so she has now gotten to that lower part of herself, the sea creature, and embraced it fully. And what she gets in the progress of this song, in the first part of the song, when she's just swimming around and around, she's not whole. She's experienced disruption in her everyday life, which we could think of as her surface life or her human life. Then she goes into a period of uncertainty when she's just swimming. And then when she takes that deep dive, she's going to have to reimagine her entire life. And it causes her, the riches that she really, really gets are a kind of integration and wholeness that she probably didn't even know she needed when she first was cast out and said, wow, I have such a broken heart. How can I even experience this even though I'm only a mermaid? That's a key statement there, even though I'm only a mermaid. She doesn't at first realize her own power. She doesn't find that until the end of the song, when she's taking that deep dive. And the treasure is kind of like a signal to us that all is well again. And she is now integrated and has gone through her whole self, brought it all together in that moment. So that's the mermaid's transformation, and that's the mermaid's secret. I think we're going to go now to a song and practice from Tibet.
So we've looked at two different paths, modalities of spiritual transformation. The first, kind of stumbling onto a path. The second, where life forces us to choose a path. The third modality we're going to look at, it comes from Tibet. It's when we actually consciously choose to deepen our relationship with spirit. It's a path of conscious transformation. And what we have here is a sadhana, a practice that Tibetan lamas do before they give an initiation of universal compassion. And so we will, there's some preliminary things where I'm supposed to ask you, like, do you really want spirit in your life? Do you really want less suffering in the world? We're just going to assume that you say yes for this. And we'll go through the preliminary things. But the first thing I'm going to do is we'll teach you the song. It's a mantra put in a song form. And it's a chant to Tara, who's seen as that seed and presence of universal compassion that lives within all sentient creatures in the universe. And one reason to chant the mantra or sing the song is to remind us that compassion can become a more natural first response for us. So the words are Om Tare Tare, Tut Tare, Tu Re Soha. Om Tare Tare, Tut Tare, Tu Re Soha. We'll sing the song. You're welcome to sing with us. And we'll begin with bells and bowls. Chabu, and big cymbals, the way they do in the monasteries in the Himalayas.
Tare tare,
Tu tare tu re soha. Om tare tare. 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 Tu tare tu re soha. Tare tare, tu tare tu re soha. Om 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 tare tare. 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 Tu tare tu re soha.
So this practice involves visualizing the universe dissolving to a point of light and then recreating it as a three-dimensional mandala of universal compassion. So before we go into the practice, the preliminaries, I take refuge in all spiritual beings throughout the universe. I take refuge in all spiritual teachings throughout the universe. I take refuge in that community of light workers in every village, in every city, in every town throughout the world. May all beings be happy, free from suffering, free from anger, attachment, delusion. I vow to remain committed to the expansion of happiness and alleviation of suffering for as long as breath breathes through this body. So if you'll breathe into that core center of your being, accessing the deepest place that you know how. Watching the in-breath, the out-breath. Feeling that indwelling spirit. And if you visualize the universe dissolving into a point of light, from this state of emptiness, visualize a white crescent moon with the blossoms open. Visualize a red lotus with the blossoms open. This red lotus sits on top of a white crescent moon, pointing upwards. Seated on top of this moon crescent is the green syllable Tom, which is the essence of your own mind. This green syllable Tom is also the bija, or seed syllable, for Tara, a being of immeasurable compassion, which we create out of our own mind essence. From this green syllable Tom, rays of light are manifest, making offerings to all the spiritual beings throughout the universe. These offerings are for the benefit of all sentient creatures. This light that we've sent out now reabsorbs into yourself as you become Tara. The color of your body is green. Your right hand rests on your right knee in the giving mudra. In it, you hold the vessel of life. Your left hand, with the ring finger and thumb pressed together, hold the stem of the blue lotus, the blue utpala flower. You are peaceful and smiling, adorned by all precious ornaments and garments. Your right foot slightly extended, your left leg slightly tucked in. Your back rests against a wall of moon. On your forehead, Om. At your throat, Ah. At your heart, Hum. From this hum, light rays are extended, invoking all the enlightened ones of the 10 directions in the form of green taras with the recitation Om Benza Samaya Zahum Bamho. And all these deities then reabsorb into yourself. And again, from the seed syllable at your heart, light rays extend, invoking the 5 initiating cosmic Buddhas as you recite Om Benza Samaya and make the request, please, all enlightened ones, bestow on me all the empowerments. And the enlightened ones respond saying, Om Sarva Tathagata Abhisheka Samaya Shri Hum. And having thus said, they pour water from a vessel onto the top of your head. This water fills up your body from your feet to the top of your head, purifying all bodily defilements and all spiritual obstacles. And in your heart, on that moon seat, there's that green syllable Tom. It's now surrounded by the complete mantra, Om Tare Tare, Tut Tare, Ture, Soha. Om Tare Tare, Tut Tare, Ture Soha. From these syllables, rays of light are extended, making offerings to all enlightened ones and all those striving for enlightenment. These offerings become useful for the benefit of all sentient creatures. All the powers, all the blessings, and all the compassion of all those enlightened ones and all those striving for enlightenment manifest in the form of rays of light which absorb into this rosary of syllables, this mantra which surrounds your heart. Again, as you recite the mantra, Om Tare Tare, Tut Tare, Ture, Soha, Om Tare Tare, Tut Tare, Ture Soha. Om Tare Tare, Tut Tare, Ture Soha, 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 Om Tare Tare, Tut Tare, Ture Soha. So thank you for taking this spiritual journey with us. Namaste, Tashita Lake. We've taken a look at 3 different modalities of spiritual transformation. There are an infinite number of those modalities. We ended with a compassion practice for a reason. The person sitting next to you may be Coyote. Or you may be Coyote. And it's important to recognize that all of these modalities lead to that same place. The people that we encounter in our lives may have radically different ways of getting there. And so it's important to have compassion on them and on ourselves in that journey. Laura and I are blessed to be able to be invited by Pam and Michael to come to this Tahoe-Truckee Center for Spiritual Living to share this talk. And we come because we know that this place is a house of transformation. We're all here on a spiritual journey. And our journey, as the Buddha's journey in his life, when he touched the ground and the earth spirit came up and chased away the forces of evil, as we walk that path, we change the world. The animals recognize it, the nature spirits, the place where we live, the people in our lives. That transformation transforms the world one step at a time. And so we have big stuff to do. And it's important to recognize that the whole universe is rooting for us in this process. So thank you so much. Blessings to you.
It's always a question of whether to follow a meditation practice with applause.
Well, that'll wake us up for the announcements. No. But thank you so much. This comes to our prosperity time, and we know that God is the source of all things, the Spirit. And so it's an infinite Spirit, and it's infinite in our lives as long as we open up to it. And it's always there. The gifts is given. It's up to us to receive. And so if you would, you can donate in many different ways to our center. If you would take your gift and hold it against your heart. And we're going to repeat our prosperity. There we go. That you can read along with me. I gratefully and joyfully share my offering, which flows from God, my infinite source. My gift blesses this center and all who are guided, healed, and empowered by its activities. All I share with life returns to me, blessed and multiplied.
Oh, we are? No, here we go. Do we all sing?
Yeah,
know this?
but they're waiting.
I am so blessed.
I am so blessed. I am so grateful for all that I am.
I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful for all that I am. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful. I am so blessed. I am so grateful. I am so blessed. I am so grateful. I am so blessed.
So we take all of these offerings and receive them with gratitude, knowing that it comes from infinite source and that it blesses the center and all the ways that it ripples out into our lives and the community to express that divine love that is the truth of who we all are. And so it is. So I want to welcome our guests this morning, who are Anton and Laura. I don't know if we have any people visiting us online, but we're grateful to have you here. And if you're joining us online, thank you very much for being here. And we have I have some thank yous. So first to our guest speakers and musician, Anton Mizerak and Laura Barryhill. And yes, thank you very much. And they have some CDs in the back of the room there. If you would like to take this home with you and remember, or you can go onto their website too, right? And download some things.
Yeah, and for people who just stream, everything's on Spotify. Well, most stuff is on Spotify. We have a YouTube channel with 40 different videos, and I have a Pandora channel, if you can spell my name.
You can grab an information sheet off
Yeah.
the table, and then you can spell his name. That makes it easy.
All right. Okay. And then also for Zoom hosting today, we have Karen, who's our Zoom host, and Michael assisting with the camera. Our practitioner online was Carol Dalbon. Before the service, did the meditation. And then hospitality today, I think Nancy O'Neill's here, and Shirley. And there are lots of goodies out there, so please join us after service. And then also, if you want to stay online, you can chat online for a while as well. Okay, next Sunday, we will not be having service here in Carnelian Bay because we will all be at the Expanding Light Retreat Center at Ananda Village. And so you can still sign up if you sign up today or tomorrow, so you can join us. Our facilitators will be Gary Lynn Floyd, so some more great music, and Eugene Holden, who is an amazing practitioner and former head of the World Ministry of Prayer for 10 years. But you can still join us, and the topic is the serenity of surrender. And so I know when things get overwhelming, the surrender has been coming to me as that way of being in the world and remembering that we're in the midst of it all, like the mermaid, that we've integrated everything together, or in compassion. It's not overwhelming. It's because we're a part of it, right? All right, and so you can still join us. And then we have the next week then, 2 weeks from now, we will be back here, October 2nd, and I will be talking about swimming in the infinite ocean. And our musician will be Rod Loomis, practitioner will be Brenda Haldorn. Okay. You can always check out our website, www.csl.org, and you can hear all of these announcements, and you can find our recordings of our services. You can listen to Anton and Laura again if you like, or on our YouTube channel as well. We have recordings that are posted every Monday. And then also we have the e-bikes. So this week on The Smoke is Gone, yay! And so they will be going to Donner Lake. And there's, if it's warm enough, it won't be warm enough, no. You can bring your wetsuit and you can go swimming, but anyway, it's they'll be having lunch, and it's about an 8-mile trip, so it's a short one. It's an easy one if you're newer to e-bikes. It's not easier, but if you want to go farther, you can go in the dirt trails and explore all the ponds, and bring your we're not going to bike in the rain. Okay, if you want to go, talk to Sue, and she will know when and where this is happening. Okay. Next, there is something new and wonderful happening in our center. So we've extended an invitation to, for goodness sake, to come, whatever wonderful things they had going on here, to meet here. So Shirley has been part of the Women's Wisdom Circle there for more than a decade, and they are now going to start meeting here on Tuesday mornings from 10 to noon. And it's a Bible. No, it's not. It's a book study. And they take it from there, and they're a little bit faster than Sue. They only take 6 months to get through their books, but they do dive deep. And so it's on a love offering basis. So they'll be meeting here in person, though, in the hospitality area. So, no, they won't, but they will be driving here and staying nice and dry and warm inside. Okay. If you are, oh, I guess this is that. Okay. Also this week, the Red Tent, the monthly women's circle that Jackie Price and her friend Marika are conducting over at the Wellness Center, they are meeting on Wednesday night, 6:30 to 8:30. So it's a potluck dinner and time for a social time for women. And so this is a wonderful thing that's been going on. And this week is the Wednesday, September 21st, is the International Day of Peace. So there's a whole lot of things going all over the world of all different kinds. And so one of them is this one that is sponsored by the Centers for Spiritual Living, and it's the online premiere of a movie called Gratitude Revealed. If you've ever seen the Fantastic Fungi, that is a Louis Schwartzberg movie, and he films nature close in 24/7 for years and years and years and years. So he has some amazing footage, music, and all kinds of things. So this will be a screening. It's on Wednesday at 4 p.m. Our time, and you can go online on our website and find the link or in the newsletter. And I think it's $12, but it's a fundraiser for the home office. So so you can enjoy that. And if you do sign up, then that link is good for 3 days. So you can watch it over and over. Okay, another thing for Peace Day, if you're not going to be at the retreat, you might want to go down to Reno on Saturday night from 7 to 8:30. And they are, the Prayers Without Borders group, which meets once a month, is meeting at this time at the Reno Friends Quaker Meeting House, and they have a presentation called Peace, Preludes, and Promises. So it's in honor of International Peace Day. So, all right, next. We have the Adopt a Highway. We got smoked out yesterday, so it's been rescheduled to October 1st. Yeah, so that'll be 2 Saturdays for now, right, since we'll be in Ananda next week. And so if you haven't been before, make sure you talk to Nancy and do the online video. But this is a great thing, and they do pay us to do this, so it's a fundraiser for the center as well, so thank you. All right, next we have October 2nd, that will be our last hike as a congregation. And this time we're going to go to Blackwood Canyon. The fall colors should be fantastic, nice and yellow, and you can see some there. And so enjoy that right after service on October 2nd. All right, our next, lots of things going on. So here's the one that's dear to my heart, and this is the class Beyond Limits. So this is the foundational class to come into Science of Mind, and it teaches about the Science of Mind principles, and it's the foundation for everything else that you're going to learn in all the other classes. And if you want to transform your life, this is a way to make that deep dive. And so it's on Tuesday nights beginning October 4th, 6 to 9. It's 10 weeks, and it's a certified class, and so this is it's $295, and there are payment plans available and scholarships if needed. So anyway, that is a wonderful class if you haven't taken it or you want to retake it. You know, it's sometimes chanting is, when you do it the 100th time, that's when the transformation occurs, right? All right, next. We have a discovery class if you would like to become a member of our center. We have a class that 2 weeks, these are on Monday nights this time at the request of a future member. And so it's Monday nights, October 10th and the 24th, 6 to 7:30. The first one will be about science of mind and the principles and how this compares to some other kinds of ideas like what is sin or the devil or something. We'll be talking about that. And the second week is about what it means to be a member of our center. All right. And then we have, okay, this is the beginning of the cold season. The rain's coming in. There might be at the high elevation some snow. And so our community has the Winter Warmth and Wellness program, and so there's a tub out here in the hospitality. We'll be collecting different items of winter clothing, personal items, and so between October 2nd and the 30th, and there will be a giveaway for people that are in need on November 5th. It's all being organized. So there's a list of things that they would like to receive out there on top of that tub. All right. And then another one. We're actually into November now, finally. And Jim Eaglesmith will be leading an introduction to heart math, assisted by Colleen Akiko, and we'll be looking at how you can bring your head and heart into alignment, and the amazing differences that makes in your life. All right. So it's another spiritual path. Okay. Let's see. And we've made it to our weekly classes, which are actually, they're all wonderful. I'm amazed at the things that we get to do in our center for the size. But we have on Thursday, we have both Tai Chi at 3:30, the meditation energization after that, using that Mary McEnany does. And then Friday, Sue's class, which is slowly making its way through A Course of Love. So these are all on a love offering basis. So. And if you these are online, so if you want the link, just go to our website or the newsletter. All right. I would also like to introduce our practitioners today. Let's see, we've got the children next. Can't forget the children. They are our present and our future. So if you would bless them with me. We see you, we hear you, we love you. You are a gift from God. And so it is. All right. Okay. So now I want to introduce the practitioners. And so if you are in need of prayer, please ask. It will make our day, and even better, it will make your day. And so we have online was Carol Delbon, our practitioner of the day. Nancy O'Neill is here. Michael Bramman is here for you. And I'm also a practitioner. So if you would like prayer, please ask. Or you can set up a longer session or put a request in the prayer box. Okay. Now we are ready to sing our closing song. And we are singing something a little different today, which is a short chant by Anton.
I love you, I bless you, thank you for being in the world. I love you, I bless you, thank you for being in the world. I love you, I bless you, thank you for being in the world. I love you, I bless you, thank you for being in the world. I love you, I bless you, thank you for being in the world. I love you, I bless you, thank you for being in the world. I love you, I bless you, thank you for being in the world. I love you, I bless you, thank you for being in the world. I love you, I bless you, thank you for being in the world.